When did you realize you were easily manipulated? My wedding was supposed to be the best day of my life, but I never prepared for my ex to crash it. As I planned out me and my husband's wedding, I fell in love with him all over again. Because not only did he refuse to let me do it all alone, he actually gave his input. And knowing I'm an orphan, my male insisted on going dress shopping together, and also covering 70% of the cost. I honestly felt like a Disney princess or something. So the night before the big day, I couldn't even sleep, because I had butterflies that made me feel like I was going on my first date. Well, that, and I couldn't stop thinking about what would happen if I tripped on the aisle. But turns out, that was the least of my worries. Because on the big day, in front of everyone me and my husband knew, my ex-boyfriend showed up. I guess we were both so excited that neither of us noticed that he was sitting right in the second pew, and he waited until I was halfway down the aisle before standing up on the bench, waving his hands like a lunatic and shouting, "Hope you don't mind sharing buddy," because she wasn't wearing white with me last week. There were gasps in the audience, and I thought my husband was actually going to swing at him. I immediately felt betrayed, because he promised to keep us a secret, and that it was just a one-time thing with no strings attached. But now I was panicking. Well, I hoped that my husband wouldn't believe him. So after watching my brother kick my ex out, I sheepishly continued dragging myself up the aisle. But instead of my husband kissing or reassuring me when I reached the top, he slapped me across the face. I fell to the ground and started crying my eyes out. As I ran to the bridal suite, my sister followed me, and that's where I confessed everything. You see, my ex had texted me a few weeks before my wedding. He told me he was on the verge of self-unaliving because he had lost everything. And to prove it wasn't some ploy to win me back, he sent me a photo of his eviction notice, screenshots of him being kicked out from his family group chat, his pathetic bank account, and even a video of him crying. He said his blow addiction had gone too far, and he needed help from the person who knew him most, me. So I met up with him that same day, and spent hours convincing him to stay alive, and we came up with a plan to get his life back on track. I was going to tell my husband, but he promised to never contact me again, and I thought there would be no point. My sister held me while I wept into her arms, and I never saw my husband again, because turns out my brother had wailed on him so hard that he's now in a permanent vegetative state. And as for my ex, I got a restraining order against him, and I honestly hope he's dead.